It's time for the John and Rick Show. The John and Rick Show is not filmed in front of a live studio audience. Are you ready? Let's go.
Welcome back to another John and Rick Show. Hey, Rick.
Hey, John, how's it going, man?
It's going.
What's this
It's going.
LA mean? What's LA on your hat stand for?
This was the old Pacific Coast League hat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got it from that Ebbets Field.
Okay.
They sell all kind of old throwback hats, man. They're great and they're really high quality. They're all
Are they
like
really?
wool.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
love them.
I need to get one of those Seals hats, San Francisco Seals
Oh
hats.
yeah, I think they have them.
Yeah, they do. They do. And I got my national hat on.
Nice. Are you missing the National?
I'm missing the national. God, I'm still undecided we still got a ways to go, but still kind of undecided and all that, you know. I know you wait to the last minute, but
Yeah, I'm not much of a planner.
yeah.
I
So-
know I could say this with complete confidence. There is nobody on the planet who enjoys the National more than you. I've never seen anybody love it and enjoy it more than you.
I know, and it's not even the cards. Like I didn't buy. You're teasing me. People are teasing me. I didn't buy anything the first couple of days. You know, I just enjoy. I guess I just don't get out enough. That's
Well,
my
I was
problem.
laughing because you went there with all these really huge cards you wanted to buy, and you weren't finding what you wanted, and you ended up buying hundreds of 1950s singles to complete your sets.
Yeah, exactly. And I had a
And
black.
then you had to buy all kind of holders for them.
Exactly.
That's fun though, right? And you spent a fraction of what you planned on.
Oh, I know. I thought you had the most fun, you know. I mean, you love buying a big card, you know, but when it comes down to it, sitting there for 2 or 3 hours and then put them in binders, and I didn't really care the condition and if it's off center or whatever, you know. I
Yeah.
had a blast coming up with a list. Maybe
I
I'll
haven't done
update.
that recently, but in years ago, I used to have my list for all my sets, and I would go to the card shops, and they would always have the singles you could buy there for 10 cents or whatever. And you go through there and you pick out the ones you want and make yourself a nice stack, give them $2 or $3 and work on those sets a little at a time.
So
It
much
was a lot
fun.
of fun.
Oh my God. My wife even says, what do because I could spend hours just doing whatever, and she's wondering. I do it on the kitchen table because
Yeah.
I don't know, just whatever. There's more lighting. I don't know why. I'm in this office here, but just.
Well, you know what? It's funny. I do the same thing. I take my stuff downstairs and I don't know. I figure like my wife will be watching something and I'll
Yeah.
just sit there with her and do
Yeah.
it rather than just being separate. But I like to do that as well, where I could spread it out, have as much
Yeah.
room as I want.
Yeah. Yeah. My wife's birthday was yesterday. So,
Oh, you got to wish her a happy birthday.
well, yeah. I mean,
Did you buy her
Yeah.
a card for her birthday?
we went out
You
to
know, we were
lunch.
teasing Lou Rock because his wife bought him a card on her birthday. Now that's a keeper.
My wife would have no idea. Literally zero idea what any kind of, I don't even care, any kind of card. It could be, she would have zero. She might go, oh, there's Steph Curry or Purdy or somebody she recognizes, and she would have no idea she doesn't have any idea what I collect.
My wife would have no idea what to buy me either. She would have no clue.
It would be kind of funny. That would be a good episode. You send your wife to a card shop. You just give her $20 and see what she comes back with.
Yeah. Well, my daughter went to a card shop one time. She had one near her college. And so one Christmas or birthday, can't remember which, she went and she just got me like a mystery pack or something. It was a pack of stuff.
Sure.
And it was cool. I got some stuff, modern cards. But she just went in there and asked, for something for me. So, yeah, it's kind of interesting what they would come back with.
My wife would probably say, are you freaking kidding me? One card for $20 or what?
Yeah, my wife would go in there asking for $3
$3,
cards. She'd be
$3
in.
card.
She'd have sticker shock when
And the
she
guy
saw
would
what I
probably go,
really
"You
paid.
see that door there?"
All
Uh,
right, Rick. So I was watching JT's Vintage Card Room. Now this guy, he's really into grading. Has pretty much all higher grade stuff for vintage, and he just got a little submission back from SGC and says he's done with grading. And I have been seeing this more and more and more from guys who were big into grading. A lot of them are citing that they were SGC fans, and now the PSA has taken it over. They don't like it, and they're just deciding not to grade. Are you? I mean, this has been going on. Have you? I mean, I stopped, many years ago
sure.
uh, for the same reasons everybody is now. But are you seeing that?
Yeah, I think. I mean, people are pretty upset. Not just with PSA being in a monopoly and eating up SGC and spitting them out. I
Up
think people are just
charges?
upset with the whole grading thing.
Yeah,
And
and they've been upset, but it seems like they're finally willing to do something about it.
yeah, I
Now, I
hope
don't know if
so.
it'll matter because the flippers and the
Yeah.
guys flipping these $100,000 cards are still doing it, and they're still going to do it. But even the guys that teach you how to flip cards are even like they used to be like buy raw and send in for grading,
Hmm.
and they've changed their strategy from what I've seen on videos. That's no longer the way to make a killing.
Okay.
I guess because they're grading harder, and maybe you don't have as much of a chance of getting a 10, I guess. But I don't know. What are you kind of stopped grading too, right?
Yeah, I don't grade what at all. I used to grade a little bit, uh, but no, I don't. I didn't grow up in grading. I just didn't, and
Yeah,
I missed all the in the '90s when they started grading in the early 2000s. I just didn't get into that. So the very few cards I've graded over the years, and I don't know. I mean, even before we went on air here, and I think most people are going to disagree with me, but I think grading has totally ruined the hobby for collectors, just strictly collectors, not even thinking about selling cards or
yeah.
whatever. Because I mean, it's just the way it just ruined it all for
Well,
people.
I agree with you. One of the things JT was saying, and there's been others that said the exact same thing, is they just feel like they're getting their heads kicked in with these grades that they clearly don't think those are the grades, right? They're grading real tough, and you're getting these back, and you disagree with them. That's one thing. Getting your head kicked in with those, and if you're a collector and not selling, an upcharge doesn't make any sense for you as a collector because you're just paying more to have. You're just getting punished to have a nice copy of the card, which I've said before. If you're Jeff Wilson, you say, "Oh, I don't care if they charge me $4,000 more because I could sell it for more." When you're just collecting it and not selling it, well, the upcharge is just more money you're out.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about money. So it's just all about money. I mean,
Yeah, I look through YouTube, and that's all it is anymore.
yeah, that's
There's a clear divide. We have the collector channels who just want to show their cards, talk about the hobby, show their cards, and then everything else is just all about the money. And even some of the collecting community has moved in that direction, where it's just talk about money, talk about what you should buy next, and all that stuff. Uh, Definitely a big change in the atmosphere to me on
yeah. I
YouTube.
mean, if I'm strictly a collector, and I don't think about just like you want your cards to have when you eventually, if you sell them or whatever, have some kind of value to them.
Sure, sure.
But I mean, the prices have gone so high because of the grading. It's crazy pricing. If we didn't have the grading, now of course you're gonna have a trim card. Heck, I probably have a trim card in a slab right now. But fake cards, trim cards. But for the most part, that's not happening back in the day. If you're a smart collector and you just wanted to collect the card. And it's
Yeah, and the thing is people will say, "Oh, I do it for protection," but then they'll buy altered cards in slabs. So what's the difference if you bought it raw or in the slab? I don't
yeah,
understand what the difference is.
and you can protect a card. I mean, come on. There's all kinds of things to protect a card.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
I'll tell
nothing's
you what,
gonna.
I've had slabs fall open. I've never had like that with my other holders where they
Yeah,
just fall open.
I don't know, but
So what do you think about shield bidding? This is a big topic going on right now. You know, it kind of blows my mind because my God, this has been going on as long as I've been buying on eBay, at least. You know, decades. Why is it all coming to light now? This has always been going on.
I know somebody brings it up, and then everyone has to follow what somebody else video. They're just
Yeah, I
follow
mean
everyone else what they're doing.
we all know this goes on, and there's certain houses that that's going on because in the last minute it'll double in price all of a sudden or something.
But it's kind of crazy that I was watching somebody's live stream last night, and something about a Steph Curry. It once sold for 3,000. Now it went for like 30,000 or something. And somebody was shilling it up. But who's the guy that's not shilling? What the heck? What's he doing?
Yeah,
Back out. Let the shiller go as high as he wants. What are you bidding with a guy that's shilling it? It's just kind of crazy.
they're taking a chance on racking that guy up and taking advantage of him.
I know, but the guy's being taken advantage of. There's got to be a point in which you go, okay, maybe it's worth 3,000, maybe 3,500, but am I going to keep
Isn't
bidding
shilling
up for
illegal?
something? Huh?
Isn't shilling illegal?
I think so. Yeah.
Isn't that what Maestro went to jail for? Did he go
I've
to jail
never,
for that?
I've never, I send stuff I used to send stuff into Probstein, and I never ever bid on my own card or whatever. It's just, I thought it was just totally lame. Of course, I'm not selling $30,000 cards or something like that, but I have some I never even thought it's the dumbest thing. And this guy, whatever his name is, out in a big high roller when it comes to cards, and he's saying that he put a bid on one of his cards because he wanted to make sure he could follow it. Come on. That's the craziest thing in the world. It's not like he's a first timer doing this. I mean,
I
it's
bid
like
20,000 so I could follow it.
yeah. I mean, come on. And then there's I have not watched the episode, so I probably shouldn't even comment on it. But Jim Beckett's Dr. Beckett's thing, he's kind of agreeing with this guy or something, and it just. I don't know. I don't get the whole thing.
I don't know the legality of it. Is it illegal to shill bid an auction? Because I was under the impression that during Project Bullpen, that's what they got Maestro for. Not fake autographs or anything, for shill bidding. Is that accurate or no? I don't want to say something that's not accurate.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's what I thought.
But you shouldn't be doing it. You shouldn't be doing it. And
No, it's at the very least unethical.
Yeah. And then it's so easy. I'd say, hey, I'm sending some stuff into Probstein. Hey, John, do you mind bidding? Because it's not going to show me. I'm the one who set the cards in, and there's no way to track that stuff.
Yeah, just bid on it and I won't make you pay or something, whatever. I'll give you your money back.
That's the hobby.
I mean, you still have to pay the fees and stuff, though, right? So you're taking a little bit of a risk, but it's just a little bit of money compared. If you can crank that thing up and do it often enough, you're going to make a lot more money.
It's all about the money.
All right. So what card sets are we going to delve into today?
All right. So
we got some fun ones.
We're going to do the Tattoo Orbits self-developing cards, which are very, 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 very painfully rare. We're also going to do the 19, what is it? The W565s, right?
W565s and W572s, both from 1920. Well,
20, 23, 28. No, the W565s are 28, right?
right. No. The W572s are 28, right?
The W, I thought the
And the
W5
W565s are 23. Oh, no. I have that.
28.
I have that backwards, don't I?
All right, take two. Take two. All right,
Take two.
we're gonna start with the tattoo orbits, and then we're gonna get into the W572s, 1923, and the 1928s W565.
Right, man. I have too many numbers rolling around
I
in my
know.
head.
I always say this, man. People ask me, "Hey, do you have a W565? What's it look like?" You know, that type of thing. Do you have?
And then I go on to eBay and I put that in so I can tell which set they're talking about.
I
Because I
know.
can't, unless it's one that I really collect, have a lot of, like the W572s. I know off the top of my head, W560s, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't always know them off the top of my head,
I know.
especially when they're a popular set. Like if you're going to talk about the 33 Gaudi, I don't even know what the number is. I know them as 33 Gaudi
Sure.
or 41 play ball. Like they're
Sure.
so popular, you don't
Sure.
need the number.
Yeah, but
All right, so we're going to do the self-developing, and you have a bit of information on these. These are super rare, tough to find, and because they're self-developing, it's some of the ones you do find do not have a clean image, and these you just spit on them or put water on them, right? And they would self-develop, which was a thing in the vintage era. In fact, Topps first set was a set of those, the Magic Photos, in 1948. So what do you got for us, Rick?
all right. So, well, we'll start with, obviously, most people have seen the actual cards, the tattoo orbit cards.
Yeah, I'll show an
1933
example in case people don't know what we're
orbit
talking
cards.
about.
60 players, beautiful cards, right?
I love this set.
They're not numbered on the back, but there are 60 in the set, we believe.
And Tattoo Orbit was a gum, and wasn't it owned by the Wrigley Company?
Yeah, the Wrigley Company. They bought the Tattoo Orbit Company in 1925, and they started selling this gum, but it was under Wrigley. And of course, Wrigley is battling against Gaudi, especially when it comes to like the cards. So they came out the same year, right? You got the Gaudi cards in 33, and you got the Wrigley Tattoo Orbits coming out in 33. And I mean, obviously the Gaudi cards are a lot more popular, bigger set. And you have Ruth, Garrick in the set. You got 4 Ruths, right? 2 Garricks in the set. And of course, Wrigley or Tattoo Orbit didn't have any of the Yankee players in the set.
Yeah.
No Yankees, no Giants. And mostly, I think there's like 15 Cubs in the set. And I don't know, 8 or 9 White
more of
Sox.
a boutique set. But probably the biggest cards are, I'll just show them quickly. In addition to the Dizzy Dean I showed, the Jimmy Fox.
Yep.
The toughest, I think the lowest pop of all the top players is the Rogers Hornsby.
That's what they say, but when you look at the pop reports, I don't know if that's the case,
Yeah, that's what they used to say. I don't know.
say.
I don't know or care, but Lefty Grove.
Yeah.
And for me, one of the most beautiful cards in the set is Paul Wainer.
Okay.
And then the Burley Grimes is cool because, of course, he's known to be the last legal spitball pitcher. And, he's kind of holding his glove and the ball up to his mouth there.
Yeah. Now on the
I
lefty,
I like to think he's just spit on it.
yeah, with the Lefty Grove, who's he playing for on that card? He'll tell you.
This card is playing for the Athletics.
Okay. So we're going to bring that up in a little bit when it comes to the tattoo self-developing cards. But I think they were actually placed. Yeah, there we go. And I have the same one. All right. Showcase
which
Showdown.
is crazy because there's so few of them that we both have one.
All right, Showcase Showdown, baby. I got a 2.5.
Oh, damn, I lost again.
Yes.
I lost again.
And I have no idea how they grade
Here's a
these
Pepper
things.
Martin. I only have 3 from this set. This is Frank Pitlack.
Well, they're painfully rare, these things. Like I say, I didn't look on the pop on this Collier, but of course he's a Cub, right? So that makes sense.
Yeah.
Based in Chicago. Hall of Famers.
And these are blank back for anybody that doesn't know.
Yeah, blank back. I don't know how they grade these things. I have no idea because I don't know. Yours probably might look
roll
better
the dice.
than mine when it
They
comes
grade
to
them like they grade everything else. They roll the dice. Flip a coin.
So apparently on these tattoo orbits, there's roughly 60 cards in the set, but I don't know if we really know.
They believe there's 60, but they don't know that for sure, right?
Yeah, and they're numbered basically they're numbered 151 to 210, I think.
Yeah,
Is
something
right?
like that. They're all high numbers.
Are you still? Oops. Oh, oh,
sorry.
Yeah,
they're all high numbers. Which now man, I don't know where the tattoo orbit, the regular set ends, but they were meant to be an extension, right?
I think so. But okay, so there's a set. There's basically a boxing set that started. Let's see, I have my notes here. So these were 151 to 210. Okay, and I believe there was actually I'm sorry, not a boxing set, but a movie set, movie stars
movie set. Yeah.
And there was actually an album. There's albums out there. And I believe it started with with 1. And I'm not sure how far it ended up going because not all these actors, no one's seen all the self-developing movie stars.
Yeah.
And I think it's a continuation with that particular set.
I know there's an album out there, but I've never seen one like in the wild.
Okay. Yeah, I'll send you a picture of it, and it's not totally filled out, but you would basically glue the movie stars to the album. You got Mae West, Clark Gable, George Raft, even Jack Dempsey. I guess he made a film in 1932, The Prize Fighter. So I think it's a continuation from that particular self-developing. And we don't, we concentrate mostly on baseball, and we don't really concentrate on boxers so much and movie stars. But, you would think, though, I mean, these are, I guess, apparently weren't very popular. Okay. They weren't very popular. That's why there's not a lot. Well, one, there's not a lot of them out there. Well, they're self-developing, so that might be one reason. But I don't think they were that popular. They're a one-hit wonder.
Now, these were a separate set, right? They were not inserts. They were their own set.
Yes.
Sold in little envelopes. With a piece of gum.
Yes, with a piece of gum. Little wax.
Now, what do you know about the Type 2 larger ones?
Yeah, so there's Type 1 with the ones we're showing you right now. And there was a larger set, apparently the same 60-card checklist, but there's only a few of them out there, and they were the size of a regular card. The typical
and I'll tell you, I've never seen one. Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen one for sale.
Yeah, they're paint, again, really rare. And apparently there was a set. Now, you would think, like with the movie stars, for instance, what kid is going to pick up like George Raft or Mae West self-developing? They're just not, right? And then the adults are going, what the hell, I'm going to do a self-developing.
Well, the kids going through puberty might have picked up Mae West.
Well, it's better to be looked over than overlooked.
Like we had the Farrah Fawcett poster on our wall.
That's true. So I imagine it wasn't a very big hit, the movie stars, and that's why you don't see too many of them out there. What's interesting is in this set, there's no Garrick or Ruth in the set, which kind of probably one of the reasons why it's not as popular, even though, with the rarity. But because
now being owned by Wrigley, would that be a big enough company for Victor to consider it a rookie card or not.
But can I tell you that sometimes it's just really hard to keep things positive when things have been twisted and taken out of context so much when it comes to the topic of the rookie card.
I don't think there's enough cards. The pop report, Bob, for these, there's no way he's considering these.
It was a blast
rookie
being
cards.
on with him, right?
Oh, it was so much fun, and I don't know. I still don't know how. I love Victor, but if you you go by copyright, you go by distribution, you go by pop reports, the amount the cards cost, you might be looking at you're not going to be looking at any rookie cards.
Yeah, there's going to be 3 or 4 pre-war sets that a rookie card could be in.
Yeah. So anyway, one set per self-developing card. You like, I going to send you an advertise. There's an advertisement for them where you would dunk the card in a water or whatever, blow on it, let it dry, and then you would have a self-developing card. What's interesting is
I just want to say it must have been really cool for kids back then, even though you're saying these weren't maybe that popular because they were self-developing. They made a number of these back then, and it's not like all these kids had Polaroids and stuff like we
Sure.
did when we were growing up. It must have been pretty cool for them to be able to develop their own photos. I mean, in the earlier days of photography when not everybody had a camera.
Yeah. And then, of course, some of them I'm sure didn't develop very well.
Yeah.
And so that's why you probably have the very low pop.
Yeah, and if they
on
screwed
these
it up, they
things.
probably just threw it away.
Or whatever. And then, of course, the grading companies, I believe these, it says on mine, it says 1933 Tattoo Orbits, but I believe this is a 1934 issue that came out after the cards. And the reason I say that is, one, there's an advertisement that was meant to be placed in a store window or whatever. And on the very bottom, it says copyright 1934.
Yeah.
Okay. 1934. And also, there's 4 players in the set: Mickey Cochran, Goose Goslin, Lefty Grove, that were traded in December of 33. And the teams they were traded to, that's the cards that's identified with that particular player. So for instance, Mickey Cochran was traded to the Tigers. He's got a Tattoo Orbit self-developing as a Tiger. Goose Goslin traded to the Tigers, same thing. And Lefty Grove, which you have, and it shows him on the Athletics for his Tattoo Orbit card, but the Tattoo Orbit self-developing has him as a Red Sox. So
they already identified the trade and his new team. So the copyright was in 34.
Yes.
The players were on the teams they played for in 34.
Yeah.
And so it makes perfect sense that it's 34. And what also makes sense is that the grading companies call them 33. And clearly they're probably wrong.
Yeah, because they just thought, well, Tattoo Orbit's 33, the card, so self-developing must have been 33 also.
And it's important to note they also had these cool pins. And these pins, were these 34 too? Or were these 32?
That's a good question.
I can't remember. They were, I believe, the year before or after the cards. But they're really cool. Dizzy Dean here, Jimmy Fox. They had a nice checklist. And they're pretty cool pins. And, of course, much less than the cards.
And then so they're called...
You don't see people collect these old pins like they used to, I don't think.
No, I really don't.
Getting the Sweet Capital pins and all those were... And these were, you didn't just see these everywhere. These were kind of exciting to get at one time. But I don't know. Maybe if they were graded at PSA 10, they'd be worth collecting.
There you go. You're probably right. So those were called the Tattoo Orbit Self-Developing. They were R308. And then 308-1, 308-2 was the larger cards, which you never ever see self-developing.
Yeah. Now, do you know where they were distributed? Were they
Uh,
just in the Chicago area? Is that why there were so many Cubs?
I would probably think so, right? Because they were
It
mostly
would make
Cubs.
sense.
I mean, weren't
They put
distributed in
some
New York.
stars, and then
There was no
they load up on the
Giants or
Cubs.
Yankees in the set. So
Yeah.
you would think they would have Giants, Yankees being in New York, and I imagine just in the Chicago area.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I find it always interesting when we see these old sets that lack major players. You know, like the 33 DeLong does not have Babe Ruth. It does have Lou Gehrig. The 34 Gowdy doesn't have Babe Ruth. I'm sure that was for licensing reasons, right?
You know what? I think it's more Christy Walsh, his the agent for both Garrick and Ruth. He was the first original agent, and so I think he controlled all that stuff for Ruth and Garrick, and so they wanted to promote Garrick, so they kept him out of Ruth, out of the the different.
Is that what you think? Or
I believe so, yeah. Because
so Babe Ruth had signed with Quaker Oats, and all his 34 stuff is like Quaker Oats.
Yeah, and
I thought maybe there was a licensing with that where he was exclusive to Quaker Oats.
Well, I understood that this might be true, that there's some issues in which they tried to promote, Christy Walsh tried to promote Garrick, and so he wanted to be a standalone, like Lou Gehrig.
That makes sense for the 34 Gowdy.
Yeah, Lou Gehrig says, right?
Yeah.
And so just to prop him up, and I think that there's going to be an issue we're going to show in a little bit here, which Garrick's in the set, but not Ruth, and probably the same kind of thing.
Interesting.
Yeah, but because I don't think we're going to do, licensing. Victor says all this about I don't think any of these things were licensed. They didn't have a license with Major League Baseball at all. Zero license.
Yeah.
Oh, we understand it.
Well, I pointed out that the Burke Ross had a lawsuit back in the day. Bobby Thompson said they didn't have he didn't give him permission to use his likeness. They just used it. And I think there were other players as well.
And it's even way back then, of course. Now, the grading comes, but the photo agencies were compensated, I believe. So for the image, like an Underwood, or the Mendelssohn or the Hearst Corporation, whatever photo agency was probably compensated.
So the photo agency owned the rights, not the players.
And that was legally back then. They were, you couldn't just post someone's photo. The agencies were compensated for that, but the players weren't. Certain players like Ruth, maybe Garrick, maybe Wagner, maybe Cobb, those players might have had small side deals, but the majority of players weren't compensated for being in these sets.
And of course, in the early days of some of these sports, and they weren't always as popular. I mean, baseball was certainly, that was America's pastime. That was the most popular. But, it's possible that they were more interested in promoting the game itself, especially after the 1919 scandal and all that. That they really wanted to promote the game. I mean, if you go back to the 1960s NFL, they wanted to promote the game. I mean, the NFL wasn't making all this cha-ching. In the old days, baseball, they didn't have friggin', banners of companies they were selling to on their helmets and their uniforms and home plate and everything else. And the NFL didn't, they're so big for their britches now. You got to watch 12 different channels to watch every game. And it's a big money-making thing. But in the 60s, they would have begged for viewership, right? Yeah. And basketball, up until probably the 80s, did not have a lot of viewership. So you have to think a lot of these sports just wanted the promotion. We're probably thrilled to have it.
Yeah, and there was no legal with the thing with these, the players didn't. We're looking at it now, but back then, you have to look back then. They really didn't have a say, and I don't think the major league companies, the Major League Baseball, really I get that
Yeah,
was
and another thing, they didn't have TV rights or anything, so they needed you to come to the game. And anything that would promote you buying a ticket and going to the game is how they made their money.
like Walter Johnson, the Walter Mails game, the card
Yeah.
game, and I have this Walter Johnson card, and I was reading that he advertised for this game, okay, but he wasn't compensated for it.
Yeah.
And he agreed to do it for free or whatever. He didn't. There's some kind of quote from him saying that I just did it.
Yeah.
I like the guy, so I did it for free. But the players weren't. I don't know. So Victor, I watched his again. I love Victor, but we're gonna have a disagreement here. He says he's gonna come up with some proof that these guys there's some kind of licensing, but I don't think there was any licensing except for the photos that were used.
Well,
those were compensated.
I do have a copyright card from 1933 Gaudi for Leo DeRocher.
Okay.
And I've seen a number of those. I know there were copyright cards filed for that particular set. Now, I don't know what that means exactly. I don't know if they were compensated. But again, Victor's looking at it from the modern licensing lens. So he's going to come up with his rules, and after he does, we could go back on the show and talk about them and have some fun with them.
I was just thinking, if they were, let's say, if some of these players, especially the ones we're mentioning, the 1927 this, 1928, or some kind of pre-war cards, we would have some kind of paper trail somewhere that would show something, right?
Yeah.
Some kind of contract. And I have not seen anything like that. And people will bring up, well, Wagner or Ruth wasn't in a particular thing or whatever. Of course, they would probably want him. Ruth was the biggest star, right? So he should be in everything. Why isn't he in DeLong? Why isn't he in all these other sets? You would think for sure they would have Ruth in the set. Well, Ruth was a huge star. He probably had a little more say, and he had other kind of advertising.
Yeah, he was worldwide.
Yeah, so of course but the average.
It was like
player,
Tiger Woods. On the
was no-
PGA Tour, all the other players had to pay a fee to play in these tournaments, and Tiger got paid to show up.
Yeah,
because their attendance would triple if he was there.
Yeah, and wasn't it till the Major League Baseball got involved? Not until the later 50s or 60s when it came to licensing of cards and so forth.
Yeah, I'm not educated on that. We're going to need to do a deep dive into that, and maybe Victor will uncover it for us.
He might.
But
now you're right.
I find it hard to believe all these strip cards and everything were licensed.
Yeah.
And I told you that there was a lawsuit with Bobby Thompson for the Burke Ross. They clearly were using images they didn't pay anybody to have any kind of licensing for.
Yeah.
In
So
fact,
it'd be interesting.
Bobby Thompson was basically saying I didn't give them permission to use my likeness, and that was what it was based on. So
it's interesting. You say the copyright. You have a card that says copyright, but copyright that was a Gaudi, right?
Yeah, it's the copyright card that was filed with the Copyright Office, the Patent Office, whatever.
Maybe the Gaudi or whoever did not want other companies to copy what they had.
And you're probably right.
Player.
You're probably right. It was probably more to protect
their
product that other people couldn't use their likeness or whatever.
And
it's probably more for that reason, or they couldn't mimic their cards.
Yes.
Yeah, you're probably right about that.
So the bottom line, I believe, is, and we're going to deal with the issue. Why don't we just do that next issue with the W572s? Because there's actually copyright on the bottom of those cards.
Yes, there is. Yes, there is.
And those copyrights are basically for the photos that were used, like the Underwood, the Hearst Corporation. That was one for the photos, and two, also the company, I believe, is the J.B. Clark Novelty Company, card advertising company. Some of those letters on the bottom stand for that, or the Chicago Inside Novelty Card Company. I guess it was the same. Monroe Street in Chicago, and basically they didn't want other, card companies to copy what they were doing, but also telling you, hey, these are from these particular photo agencies. So you have a bunch of letters and numbers on the bottom. Apparently, that's what it stands for.
Okay. Here's the Babe Ruth. It looks similar to the Nielsen's chocolate and those
the
cards that go
W1,
with it.
the E120s, right? American Caramel cards.
Where he's holding the ball.
Yeah. So it mimics
here's the Ty
basically
Cobb.
the same set. Basically, it mimics the. Now, what's interesting on the Cobb is the only one in the set that has a different image. That's what's on the E120 cards, American Caramel cards, which is interesting.
Cool.
Not sure why that is, but all the other ones are pretty much the same images as you would have.
Yeah, I like it because he's throwing. They don't see a whole lot of cards of him throwing. Here's the Tris speaker. That's a common image.
Yeah.
Pie Trainer, cool one. And one of the cool images, and of course it is a common one, is the Zach Wheat.
Yeah, beautiful.
And here's the Grover Cleveland Alexander. I actually work on this set. So I have a whole box here. I'll stop there for you.
Yeah, so
but just to give an idea, these are blank back.
And I have one, Rabbit Moranville.
Oh, I have that one. Hold on.
Now let me ask you this: is the rabbit the one you have? Is yeah? So is it a white? That's a sepia one, right? It's kind of a brownish toned, or no? There's a white.
I wouldn't call it sepia.
Is it black and white?
It's black and white.
Oh, okay.
Mine are they're all shaded the same.
The ones you have are all shaded the same.
Well, you know what? Now that I'm looking, I don't know if it's just age though, Rick. Some of these,
I think mine.
Yeah, I guess they have a little. Some of them are a little more black and white than the others.
Yeah, so
these are a little more. Like just give you an idea. So like the Tris speaker is really white compared to this one. This is a little more. I don't want to call it yellowish, but it's not as bright white. We'll put it that way.
So apparently, they're supposed to be like kind of copied the E120 set, and I made some notes here. 114 are known to be sepia cards, like a tone.
Well, maybe that's what they're calling these. That doesn't look. I guess maybe it is.
But 93 of them are known to have black and white.
Okay.
So there's two different 114 known sepia.
I didn't even know that.
And 93 known black and white.
I wouldn't call these sepia though, from compared to like the W517 sepia. These are nowhere near that color, or all the sepias that I've seen.
No, all yours
they're not
all
quite
yours.
there.
Do they have gray backgrounds, or are they white? Any of them white? Most likely gray, right?
Yeah, I don't have any white backgrounds. No.
Yeah, same here. So the whites are very scarce. I guess there's 6 black and white.
Well, I don't know. Is this considered white? This is a Tom Zachary.
But on the back,
or is that gray?
It's a gray, right? On the back, it's a gray back.
Oh, the backs.
Yes.
Yes, they're all gray. They all look like cardboard.
So there's actually 6 known black and white fronts that have the white.
Oh, that wasn't even a Tom Zachary. That's a Wilbur Cooper. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, so basically there's 100 known. So we're mentioning these things like they're common. These are tough to find. The pop
Yeah.
is probably, some of them are only 2 to known to exist, up to maybe 10. So it's not like they're very common. Some guy, I read an article, some guy did a deep dive on these and came up with, there's 114 known sepia ones with the front, sepia cards with the gray background. There's a
Okay.
93 known black and whites with the gray background, and there's 6 known black and white fronts with a white background. Only 6
Okay.
with white background. Okay. And
Man, I never
basically,
thought about those color. I'm sorry. I
yeah, no,
just
go
never
ahead.
thought about those color differences before. But now that just stands out to me like a sore thumb now that you've told me that.
Yeah. Like you're saying, these are so old. Maybe some of them are toned just over the years, so it's
Yeah,
hard to tell.
that's just what I assumed, because I see it with other sets.
Let me ask you this. So they came in a strip, a horizontal strip of 10, okay?
Uh-huh.
Okay. In between the first card and the second card, there was a number. Does any of your cards have a number? It looks like remnants of a number, like
On the top?
on the side of the card. Like it would be a number 36 to 42.
Yeah, I don't think so.
In between the first and second card of the horizontal set. So any of them show any kind of number that's midway on the side of the card at all?
Midway, I don't think so. I
Okay.
never noticed that anyway.
So in between the first and second card of the 10 card strip, horizontal strip, there's a number. It goes 36 to 42. 36
Okay.
to 42. Now, there's an actual boxing set that came out the same year. And it's the same 10 cards, 1923 boxing set. And they numbered are, I'm in between the first and second card, 31 to 35. And there's other ones with presidents or comedians. So it wasn't like this particular company, we're concentrated on the baseball cards, but there's
Right.
also boxers and presidents. And I think, and that's why there's a number in between. Is it just, this is strip number 36, 37,
Okay.
that type of thing. And I was hoping you would have one that there was a number in between the first and, number.
I never thought to look for one. I'll
Yeah.
go get one now if I can find one.
Yeah.
So
It's
that I can have that one too.
So again, they think the JB Clark novelty company, advertising company, and I was seeing that there was trade cards that you can go find on eBay with this company. You just see those 1,800 trade cards or whatever, and they're a paper company for advertising purposes, for not just cards but postcards or whatever they're selling to the public or for individual companies, and they just.
So we know how these were distributed?
We don't.
Like probably again at arcades or something, or do we have any idea?
I don't.
They could have been in stores in strips, right?
Yeah. Who knows? And then, so again, there's copyright on the bottom, telling you pretty much what photo agency that it came from, Underwood, the Mendelsohn, the Hearst Corporation.
So these could be rookie cards because they have a copyright.
There we go. Although the pop reports like 2 or 3 on some of these cards. And we don't even know.
I suspect some of these strip cards may have just been in stores, toy stores or something, that you could buy them, because if the Menko cards for the Japanese cards, those were hung in strips in stores, and you just buy the strip and then you go home and cut them out. That's why you could still find so many in strips. The 1941 play ball paper version were sold that way too, in strips at stores, and you'd buy the strip. So it's possible a lot of these old strip cards that we don't know were distributed that way too, since there were other ones distributed that way.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, they might have just printed them out to who knows?
Yeah,
But
I
just
could
interesting.
picture, like, in more modern times, you do skeet ball, and the tickets would come up, and you could go trade them in for things. And I always, in my mind, at arcades, either in a machine, and a strip would come out, or they would hand you it because you had so many tickets or something like that. That's, in my mind, one of the ways I always suspected a lot of these were distributed.
Yeah, and I mean, it could be simple as, I have a friend that owns a printing company, and he'll pretty much print anything you want. So maybe it was something where somebody goes, "Hey, why don't you just do a print baseball, whatever, not rhyme or
Yeah,
reason."
but they don't have, like, the ones that don't have advertising on them. That's, those are the ones that I always think must have been distributed a different way,
It's just
because most
interesting
of
that
most cards had, they were with gum or had advertising on the back to promote the products or whatever.
it was interesting that I don't know why they would have at the bottom copyright, because you never see copyright on these old cars, and why this particular company thought they had to put copyright on the bottom of their cards. So it
It
kind of,
is a bit of a mystery because you don't see that.
yeah, yeah.
But for anybody watching and who's not familiar with these, if you see them in the wild, that's one way to recognize them.
Yeah, in the very bottom. It's hard to tell, but somebody did a really deep dive on these, and he even identified which players were with where they came from, Underwood and Underwood, or
Yeah,
Mendelssohn, or the Sporting News, whatever, where they came from. But I think there's also a copyright for this particular company, this JB Clark company. So again, I'm not sure why they were required to do that, but
it's
we might
another
never
one of
know.
those mysteries, which is part of the fun of collecting these old sets. But man, I'd love to learn the truth behind some of these sets that we talk about and know exactly how they were distributed,
Yeah, this
why they were
company,
made.
they had their address was 115 and 118 Monroe Street. 115 and 118 Monroe Street, Chicago. And I looked it up, and it's downtown Chicago. And why they had two offices, or they combined, who knows, that type of thing. But I guess they're a fairly big company, just because they did trade cards. Even you can find on eBay with on the back, it says
Yeah,
the
yeah,
JB Clark Company, and you would recognize them. They're bigger size, maybe 5x7, and has some, like, a clown type,
yeah.
whatever. And just interesting. So the bottom line on these, because I was all over the map, they're W572s. They came in sepia, like a tone color, brown, also black and white fronts. Most of them have a gray back. There's a few black and whites that have a white back, but since they're so rare, who knows what happened to them? Or if they just one print run with the white backs, and most of them were with the gray
So
backs.
is it a different? It's a different stock then if they have a white back, because these are printed on cardboard
Mm-hmm.
and it's cardboard stock. So the white, it was different paper.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, interesting.
But there are
I've never seen a
whites
white
out
back.
there. There are with the white background. 6 players have been
Quite.
found. It relates to the W800. I didn't even know these cards existed, but I've seen them online. The W800 boxing cards, with that the same year, horizontal strip with a number in between the first and second card that matches the baseball.
Okay.
So
All
who
right.
knows? But anyway,
So we're
that's
going
the
to go on to another strip.
W572s. And then we're going to go on to the 1928 5 W565s.
Now, there were only 4 baseball players in this set. I have all 4, so I'll show them. Lou Gehrig.
Wait a minute. Wait. You got the Lou Gehrig?
Oh, are you going to play Showdown with me
Yeah,
again?
I'm going to play Showdown, baby. You're not going to beat
I
me.
lose again.
I got a 9.
I lose again. These
A
are black
9.
backs, rather.
Which is interesting, right?
I
To
know
have,
it's very unique. You don't see that. And here's Well, I'll point something else out when I get to it. This is the Tony Lazzari. This is the Al Simmons and Harry Heilman. And that Harry Heilman is the only one of the baseball players that isn't like this reddish.
Yeah, it's in a black.
Yeah, so these strip cards came in these colors, and for
Red
whatever
and black.
reason, Harry Heilman is the only baseball player that's not the reddish.
Which is interesting because why?
Yeah, it's just probably where he landed on the strip, but
Hmm.
maybe they added him after the fact. I don't know.
I'm trying to figure out. I don't know why. There's no Ruth. So my guess is, again, my theory is because they would have Ruth for sure, right? So there has to
Yeah.
be a reason why it's just Garrick. Again, might be a contractual thing or something to prop up Lou Gehrig. I think he won the MVP that year. I'm not sure, but
I wanted to point something else out too. Tony Lazzari is the only one in a oval.
yeah,
See, there's like he's in an oval there.
they're very crude. I mean, when you look at the whole set, not just the baseball player, there's like no rhyme or reason to the.
They're kind of cool images, though. I always loved this Lou Gehrig image. It's not an image you see every day of him, that's for sure.
Yeah, so it's a 50 card set. Like I said,
I love the black backs. They remind me of the what's the one, the Mayo cut? Is that the one with the black backs from the 1800s?
I think it's more like a dark blue, isn't it? Yours is black. I think mine's dark blue for sure.
I don't know. They look black.
Look at mine. Look at.
Maybe they're dark
blue. I think it's dark blue. But to be honest with you,
you
don't know this. You don't know this about me. I'm colorblind.
Well, then I don't know if I'm taking your word that that's blue.
That's right. Well, I just read it's dark blue, but it does look blue to me.
Looks black to me, but it could be dark blue.
All right. So 50 card set, 4 baseball players, like you said. Now, why Garrett, Heilman, Lazzari, and Simmons? Why those players?
Yeah, it's an interesting mix. However, maybe not so respected today, but Al Simmons and Harry Heilman were phenomenal players. And Tony Lazzari, was one of the top second basemen of the day, right? But Al Simmons and Harry Heilman, I mean, they were phenomenal players. They were some of the top stars back then, just because, people might not know who they are today.
Yeah, but I don't know.
But no, I'm with you. I mean, why these 4? Why these 4? Yeah. And that's a mystery, because you'd think that they would be, again. Well, this would have been in 28. Jimmy Fox would have been just starting out, right?
Yeah.
Because all these old sets you expect to see Lefty Grove, Jimmy Fox, Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, right?
Yeah. I know Heilman and Lazzari were born in San Francisco. I was trying to figure out some kind of combination of just interesting, those players. And why was the one player Heilman in the black?
Yeah. It's also important to note this is an earlier Lou Gehrig too.
And
so it would have been out, the same year as the Harrington's Ice Cream and Yingling and those cards.
You can find them in high grade, which I have a 9, which is you never see strip cards or off a sheet in a 9 or an 8 or even anything above a 5. You just don't see. And I looked it up. There's 6 PSA 9s of Garrett. There's 110. So it's probably, these were pretty common. These sheets, you probably can still find these full sheets today. So the modern hobby goes, hey, man, I can cut these things up and with the X-Acto knife and make it nice.
Yeah, you
and
know,
perfect
that's
to
one
break.
thing that just makes me want to throw up in my mouth is when people take some rare artifact and cut it up so that they can slab it. It's like the gold medal dairy. You know, if you have I saw a whole milk carton intact with Mantle, Koufax,
Mhm.
Mays, and Mazeroski on it, and I would be willing to bet whoever bought it cut it up so that PSA would slab it,
Mhm.
and just makes me want to throw up in my mouth because I can guarantee you there aren't too many of those around, and there may not even be. That might have been the only one, and it doesn't exist anymore. You know,
Yeah.
and to chop up a rare artifact to send to the vape and Red Bull kids just infuriates me. It triggers me. Okay,
I
I'm done.
agree. I agree.
That's my Mangini minute.
So black sheet, a red sheet, 5 boxers. It was like a playing card theme. So you have, I guess looking here, the black sheet had clubs and spades, and the red sheet had hearts and diamonds. But it is kind of crude because it doesn't. Like you're saying, some of them, like the Ruth, look fantastic, but if you look at the overall sheet, if you see a sheet, it's pretty no rhyme or reason. Like you said, the
You mean
oval.
the Garrick? No,
Yeah,
not
the
the Root.
Garrick. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I mean, a lot of people wouldn't want these things. I want them all, and I love having all 4 of the baseball players from it.
Where they came
It
up
is
with
a
it.
little odd why these can be found in higher grade than most trip cards.
Yeah, there
I wonder why that is.
must have been a shitload of them out there, and you were able to pick and choose and
I
basically
don't know. I
come up.
can't tell the difference between these 2.7s, this 6, and this 4.5. I mean, the 4.5 looks better than the 6. Um, Man, grading stupid.
Anything else? Let's see. I'm looking here. Anything? I don't know.
No, I think I got everything off my chest today.
Did you?
Anything else you wanted to discuss before we go?
Not really. Not really. So, I'm sure we confused people because we were kind of all over the board today. But
Yeah, we were a little disorganized. We apologize. And you were teaching me some things, and I was trying to look at the same time.
I know. I didn't know these things until I did the research on them. That there's a number in between the cards and different
Yeah, I
fronts
didn't
and
know that.
backs. And somebody like I found this deep dive. This guy did like 12 pages, and he would go through the individual cards and the different thing and figure out how many of this, that, and try to piece things together. And it was pretty interesting.
It's fun. It's fun to go down those rabbit holes and learn this stuff. When I've researched, you spin off in different directions. You find out about the company, then you go and research the company and see what else they sold and see if you can find any information on them. And it's a lot of fun, man. All right, Rick. Well, this was fantastic. I had a blast. I hope you
Yeah,
did.
it's always fun talking cards, man. I tell you, I can.
Sure is.
Time goes by so fast, and I don't know. Good
All right.
times.
Well, how about you give me your close?
All right. This is Rick, Vintage Oddball Cards. Bye.
I got to go.